Let's talk about Anita's whole grain stone ground spelt flour. So this is made from the whole grain and milled in our stone mills. You'll find that the stone ground flours have larger chunks of bran in them, and you'll get in your finished product a more like whole grain kind of feel to it because you'll see the chunks of bran in there in the baking. It has a nice, people often describe the flavor of spelt as nutty. I find it has almost a sort of little bit more of a grassy, nutty flavor to it. As in all spelt flours, it's a little bit lower in gluten than modern wheat. It is a wheat, it's a ancient grain. It's been grown the same way for thousands of years. So it hasn't been bred to be super high in gluten and that sort of thing. It's great for mixing into muffins and cakes. Anywhere that you would use whole wheat flour, you can substitute spelt, but you'll have to know that it's a little lower in gluten, so you're gonna end up with a little bit of a denser final product. You can make 100% spelt bread or sourdough, but it is going to be, you'll have to know that it's going to be a little bit of a denser bread because of the lower gluten. Also, usually when you're making a spelt bread in a pan, it turns out a little bit better because the pan gives it a little bit of support to rise higher. When you make a spelt loaf, you'll notice in the oven, it'll rise for quite a long time. We make a 100% spelt loaf and it tends to rise for much longer than other loaves. So you put it in looking a little flat and it will rise quite a lot in the oven. This is a great flour just to get some nice flavor into there, a little bit of a variation of flavor from your usual whole wheat. It doesn't quite have some of the bitterness that sometimes a hard red can have. And it's just a nice way to mix it up when you're baking.